See, this kind of crap makes it where you just don't want to go on. You know what sometimes I'll walk away from the computer totally disgusted because I've never been able to conduct a live feed more any reliable. Hey, Robert, I so apologize. I live in a garbage world. I live in a garbage place. I live in a garbage county. To live here for 30 years and not have any form of reliable communication. Now we're going to get fiber optics in 3 months. My apologies. This is a way of life for me. That's the reason I don't even like to try to attempt to do something, because the end results is never pretty. It's always, where did he go? Why did he leave us? It is a sad situation. But we're here now, and we're going to try to make the best of a bad situation. Buck, I'm glad you stuck it out, buddy. Did you notice I changed the title of this one? I had to completely shut it down, because when I had to unplug all of that over there, and then I had to start it all over again. It wouldn't let me do a restart. I think StreamYard, it would have probably picked up where it left off, but not YouTube. I guess all of you guys, you might have seen that skit on Saturday night. Yeah, at my age, my deck is sagging. Uh, my deck I got out here on the back is 30 years old. We had it built, well, almost 30 years. It'll be 30 of this August, and it was coming August. We had it built 30 years ago, and it's beginning to show. It's pressure treated wood and all that stuff. It's beginning to show a lot of deterioration sitting out there in the sun for that many years. It's not a covered deck. Now, the deck I have out in front, it's all covered, and it looks like new, like it was put in 30 years ago. Really good looking wood. I mean, no shines, any signs of but this one sits out in the sun all the time. Oh, because August 30 years ago, we had a contractor come in here and they built me a deck. Um, well, as you find out when you get older, your old memory works good. I can tell you exactly the day and the time I retired from the company, 1995, June the 30th. But like you, I can go out to the shop to get me a 10 millimeter socket. And I'll walk in and I'll walk over there and I'll start pulling drawers out. And I go, what the hell did I come in here for? And I get to thinking, and I concentrate on the toolbox first, and that's a mistake. And then I have to say to myself, let's backtrack. Where was that? So I go back, working on the lawnmower, need a 10 millimeter socket. I'm just like all of you folks. I have the same memory issues. Yeah, it's always the missing 10 millimeter. I tell you what I really hate is you'd be working up under the hood of the car and somehow your socket slips off your extension, and you had to build a contraption, elbow extension and all that to get to a hard part, and the socket falls off, and you hear it rattle for about a minute. Clink, 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 roll, roll, clink, 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 roll, and then you don't hear it no more. And you get on that car and you look and you can't find it nowhere. And a year later, you're up there working on a muffler bracket or something, and there it lays laying up on a box beam or something, where it rolled down and stopped. American Outlaw, good seeing you, buddy. We got Sick in here, Motorbomb, Virginia. We got Buck Brown, Will Burner. We got Angel Face, Robert. Um, just a good bunch of folks. And I want to thank you. I really thank you for, being patient. When you're old now, it's very important for us to have a good connection. You have to be patient with an old guy. They have to, you have to have patience. That's something I don't have is patience. I get so upset. I think it's because you think about running out of time, and every moment is so precious. And when a piece of electronic equipment fails you because it can't get a signal, oh my God, Dave, you checking out on us, buddy? Well, yeah, I know. I realize it's getting late for you over there. Thank you very much for being a true and loyal mate, man. You give me a reason for getting up in the morning. I can come over and see what Dave is doing, see what Buck Brown is doing. What is Motobomb up to today? What is Sick doing? What is Ray Gregory doing? Angel Face. It just goes on and on. Brown Chicken. You have to check in on the family. Oh, thank you very much, Will Burner. Hey, Quick Shoe, thank you very much for being here. See, I start naming names and I can only see what's on the screen there. But if I scroll up, I knew I would have seen you, but I was just too lazy to go over and scroll up and see who all was in here. But here it is Friday, and we always have a good attitude about the weekend. Our weekends are going to start looking better and better. This coming Tuesday, here in my neck of the woods, it's going to be 74 degrees. I mean, that's shirt sleeve riding weather. I got a video. I rode about 3 years ago. I made a video of me riding. I believe I was on old Heavy Betty. I did I did a 3 state ride. I rode in Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia in the 3 states. And I went to 10 Killer Dam. No, not 10 Killer. There's a big dam where the Tennessee River is dammed up. And I traveled up to the dam and went over in the northwest Georgia. I went through the corner of northwest over at Deerfine. Oh no, Rising Fine, Georgia. I did that. And I made a video. I posted it on the ride is posted on my Old Mack's channel. You have to scan down there about 100 movies deep down in there. You'll find the ride, the 3 state ride. And we were riding. The temperature was 74 degrees, and we were riding with our T-shirt. Oh, Will Burner, buddy, just you know you're going to be welcome on my page here. And I thank Dean for sharing that with you. I'm not a big page, I'm not in this for the money or nothing like that. I'm here for the camaraderie of bike riders. You might be riding the Indian like our good friend Buck. I tease him a lot about his bike don't have that Harley sound. It more or less goes like whoa 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 whoa, like an Indian. But Or you could buy, like my friend Cam, those guys over there, they ride those English bikes, the Triumphs, and there's some beautiful machines out there. And I believe Angel Face is looking like for a Suzuki. If you're a bike rider, the most important thing of all, if you're a bike rider, we don't care what you ride. I've got videos of me riding 3-cylinder Triumphs. Um, let me see that. Well, I had most all of those are in Facebook, but I got them on a chip. I could dig those out and post those. Hey, Rod B. Yeah, I may have a little sag, but my deck is still heavy, big and heavy. I think my deck is 22 foot, but it's only like 16 by 22, I believe. That's the size of the deck out there. So it's not a big deck, but it's a square, rectangular shaped deck. And we've had so many parties out there on that deck. My wife was a party person. Boy, she had all that lawn stuff out there, and I had a big old grill master, big one in stainless steel. I used to be big about. I had rotisserie chickens going. Put 2 chickens on there. Well, I told you, Rod B. When I was born, Rod B. I weighed 12 and a half pounds when I was born. But after circumcision, only 9 pounds. I tell you, I had so much fun last night with you guys. Well, my son called about the time you guys were talking about something there that I really had a keen ear out for what you was talking about. But I was there during the whole decking thing, and yeah, that was a fun thing. I was glad to see this morning it was still carrying on from yesterday. Saw Salty Badger, yeah. I mean, that kind of tells you how big old Max deck is. I had a hard time finding it. I've heard that more than once. Oh, Broad B, I think. I wish I knew how to bring up so I can't highlight your messages over there on YouTube here, but if I could highlight that one, Rod, I'd highlight it. Yeah, that's called a P. That's called a P, that little thing, that little weight. You got that bar that runs out there, and you take a P. You got a little bar down there, it's got a bunch of different size P's. And you kind of wait over here and you find a P. And when you balance out that, you move that little P out there till it balances the scale. Yeah. So when it comes to measuring your your deck and everything, you're going to need a P, to get the right balance. Yeah, back in our days, things were different. Let me give you a little example. You could go to like the grocery store in your little community that you lived in, and you walk in and you buy anything in the store, and you carry it up to the counter in the buggy, and they put it over, and they call putting it on the bill and carry a note for you. They would write you out, and that was it. You don't know more, what no paper, nobody sent you a notice. But if you didn't pay it, the whole community knows you welched out on your bill. And once the word got out that you wasn't good for your note, um, nobody would trust you. And that's the way it should be. I think people should be able to stand on their own merit. And once you get a reputation of being a scoundrel, that's all you'll be. Yeah, I've like any feed store you go to back in the old days, you'd go out there and he'd take the pea and move it around, and you had to get the right size one to get the balance, and he'd set it up into the 200-pound area, and then he'd find the right pea to give that balance, and it would be 214 pounds or 209 pounds. But that was a good way of measuring stuff. And now you got digital stuff that you have to take their word for it. When they slap that meat up on the scales, it's digital readout. Yeah, Will Burner, ain't that the truth? I mean, that is the truth right there. On my deck out here, facing towards the west, all I have is a huge wooded area that goes at least 400 foot of woods back through there, 400 plus feet of woods. And so I have more than once. See, I'd have the back door here locked. We'd go off somewhere, and I'd have this door here locked, and I don't have the key to the back door, and she has to go around that way. I'd go over there, and yeah, I've done that in modern days. Yeah, a bad check. If somebody writes you a bad check, yeah, they post it for everybody to see. Your country right now, in a lot of places in Australia, are very much like the Southeast was in the good old days, based upon honesty. You know, you're as honest until you fail to meet your obligations. Now, they was crooks and scoundrels back in those days too, but your word was really important. I bought a car on my word alone. No credit, none of that stuff. Just buy it on my word that I would pay for it. Well, that's one thing about all right, when you're a young man, 40 years old, you might be able to hold it a little bit longer. When an old guy gets the urge, he has to find a place to make the deposit, or otherwise, um, you're going to be uncomfortable. You know, business on a handshake. Oh my God, we've done that too. Verbal contracts, and that was a way of life. And then somebody messes it up. You know, somebody cheats, and then the whole system gets tore up. But times was hard back in them days, but there was a lot of good things about that system of honesty. Oh man, I tell you, Rod B, I really I heard all about that last night, and then my son called before I could get the information, and then I found out the rest of the story this morning. I was devastated because I arranged for my niece. See, they're in the medical profession, and they're retired down. They're heading out on a world tour on their sailboat. They're going to Vietnam and then down to Thailand. They're gonna go to Vietnam and then to Thailand and then over to Turkey. And I had arranged it for them to meet OC. They talked about it. They was doing a live broadcast from their boat. They were in the Sea of Cortez when they was doing their broadcast, and OC was on there, and he was giving them, you know, telling them, talking about how they could come over to his island and park their boat over there because they got a boat too. Uh, I hope that just turns out good. I hope it turns out better than what we're seeing. You hate to have your trust broken. Oh, I think it's called Sanity. Are you talking about my niece's channel? My niece's channel, I believe it's called Sanity at Sea. Sanity at Sea. I could bring it up on the phone here. I'll I'll bring it up on here. I believe it's called Sanity at Sea. I just usually just correspond with her, but I'll look and see. Yeah, I believe it's. I'll tell you in just a second. They were on the other day. I had a long conversation. I don't have it in my messages. I've already deleted it. I'll bring up I'll bring up YouTube and look for Sanity at Sea. Here we go. All right, here we go. I'm talking to myself, but I'll hoping I can see them. I want to make sure I give you the exact uh, address, but I think it's Sanity at Sea. I'll do a search for it. Sorry about this, folks. Oh, you found it. You found YouTube. Sanity. Oh yeah, that's what. See, Sanity at Sea. It's one. See, Sanity at Sea. Okay, yeah, you got it, buddy. Thank you. That's it. That's it. You got it, buddy. I found it here. I've got it now. Um, oh, and I'm the only subscriber to the channel. Um, they're good people. It's my niece and her husband. They're really good people. That's Joyce's daughter. I think I really appreciate you doing that for me, buddy. For those that would be, yeah, he's got other channel. That's his. That's the channel for the boat. They've got a lot of other communication channels that they're on all those others like Facebook and their own Instagram and all that stuff. Because when you're out at sea, you want to make sure you got all kinds of avenues of safety. And then, of course, they got the sat phone, and they have Elon Musk's system, the Starlink. They got Starlink on the ship, on the boat, and Starlink on the boat, the navigational equipment on the boat. It's really a vital system to have on your boat. They're having a big one built over in Thailand, and they're going to go over and pick up the new big boat. Yeah, Angel Face, I hope you get the bike. I've ridden every kind of bike you can imagine. I really Harley is my love. I started out when I was 16 years old on a Harley, and we've owned so many. We even had them built for us. My brother and I, we wanted to get a chopper like the Easy Rider chopper, so we had a shop in Kennewick, Washington, to build us a chopper. And it was an Easy Rider style with the long Springer front end, and it had the coffin-shaped gas tank and twice fish tips on the back, twice pipes up the side, a 53 panhead engine in it with a 49 or 48 rigid frame. Very, very sturdy bike. Well, you have a right to be excited, Angel Face. That's after you plan stuff up and finally make it come true. Um, that's um, that's a reward within itself. The ride, you know what it's going to ride like. You rode a lot of bikes, so you know it's going to ride good. I had a chance. I believe it's a D50. A friend of mine. This is the one that's got like a 1600 cc engine on it, or maybe bigger. It's a D50. It's a Suzuki Boulevard D50, I believe is what it was called. I may be wrong, but it's a big cruising bike. And I could have got that for a song and a dance. The guy that offered me that bike later on, as time went by, he fell short of money and he needed a helping hand. And I gave him a helping hand. And that deal went bad. When I was giving him a helping hand, many, many other friends of mine was giving him a helping hand. And he no longer is in our community. We got took. I told him within a few days, I said, I'm giving you that money. You don't have to worry about paying it back. After he tried to do the thing, after I found out what he was doing, because I don't want to be a part of his conscience of having to know that he scammed me, supposedly a friend. But that's life. I tell you, Red Ryder up in British Columbia, I used to live maybe 150 miles from her, and I never did ride with her when I was riding on the West Coast. She'd be a fun person to ride with too, because she rides a lot and knows all kinds of places. She likes to ride over in the Okanagan country. And if you've ever been in British Columbia, I know 2-4 has been in British Columbia. Okanagan is a beautiful portion of British Columbia. My little dog over here. Let me wheel back here so you can see my little doggy. Look at him. He is snug as a bug in a rug. I'd like to come in here and just be a old Mac. He'll lay her out there. Go to sleep. It's starting to get warm enough. I think it's going to go up into the 40s today and tomorrow. Oh, I'm just saying, I'm excited for you, for you. And well, I'm excited for everybody that knows that the weekend is just around the corner. We traditionally have always started our weekends on Friday because I work second shift and I didn't get off to midnight on Friday. And everybody else, when I'd get home about 1 o'clock in the morning. The party had already started. And I just came in there and the room would be full of drunks. Yeah, Monday part. Yeah, I used to when I was out on the big road, Buck. We'd be like stuck in Spokane, Washington, and I'd run out of my 70 hours. This is when you had a logbook, and I'd run out of my 70 hours, and I'd have to log out in Spokane. But then I would drive my rig to Kent, Washington. That's about 300 miles, 250, 300 miles from Spokane over to Kent. And I would stay the weekend over there and then head out early Sunday morning, early Monday morning, and get back to Spokane in time for me to log back in and get my logbook started and start me a new chapter. It is blue sky out there. No, it seemed like it had a D in it, but I may be wrong. It was it was a boulevard. It was a Suzuki Boulevard, but it's a bigger one. Oh, it had ever saddlebags and all that stuff on it. It was a really nice bike. He was a little bit hard up for money, he said, and I don't like to take advantage of nobody when they're hard up on money. I'd rather give you the money as to take your equipment from you because once you got over the hard spot there, you'd still have your equipment. C50. You might be right, right? It could be the C. Yeah, yeah. C50. Could have been yeah. It's not 50cc, it's just a model number, but it was seemed like it was around 13 to 1600 cc's. It was bigger than a Harley 1200. for the motor, but it didn't make a lot of horsepower. I mean, it's good, smooth running machine, very dependable. Yeah, it was a nice machine. If you folks can keep an eye on my dog, I'm gonna leave the camera on right here. Y'all keep an eye on my dog for a minute. I gotta go over yonder just for a minute. Don't go away now. Y'all engage yourself in conversation, and I'll be right back. Buddy. Hey, amigo, let's get this party started. Hey, we're gonna party now. I told the girl, I said, "Hey, you gotta make some tequila and eggs, man. I like tequila and eggs." Yeah, the devil went down to Georgia. Buck Brown, did you ever get a chance to meet Roy Clark? Roy Clark, he may be dead now. I don't know. I haven't kept up with him. But in 1970, I got to go out to Roy Clark's. He's got a big ranch out there on the Pedernales River up in the Canyons area over there by San Antonio, Texas. You have the Pedernales River out there to the west, and you got the yeah you the what's called the Canyon area. And he has a big ranch out there, and he flies airplanes. Roy Clark is a pilot, and he invited me and my brother to come out and fly with him over at his ranch. And we went out to his ranch, and I met his wife, and he said he was out flying. Roy Clark, I'm talking about. You remember Roy Clark and Buck Owens? They had that thing on Hee Haw, I believe it was. Um, he told me his wife said, "Oh, you're welcome coming in, and he'll be back soon." Well, we heard an airplane, and we went out in the yard, and there he was coming in. He landed. He was flying a bi-wing Super Stearman, and he was going to take me and my brother up in the Super Stearman. And then while we was in there making our arrangements to go up in Roy's plane, yeah, picking and grinning with Roy, Buck Owens, yeah. And so while we was getting ready to make our flight, his wife come out and they talked, and there was quite a bit of alarm. He said, "Boys, I hate to say this, but I'm going to have to ask y'all to come back at another time. We've had a tragedy at our place." He told us that he had leased out one of his airplanes to a young couple that got married, and they crashed in the Canyon Lake area. They crashed their plane. He was doing barrel rolls over the lake and dipped a wing and went straight in. And so he apologized to us, and we never went back because what happened, our contract ended and they sent us to Marietta, Georgia, Dobbins Air Force Base. After that, we went down to Marietta. Uh, and then we went up to Fairchild. So we never did get back down to San Antonio. Yeah, he was a good guy. He was just as country as could be. I met Charlie Pride in San Antonio, Texas. We went out to his bar. He's got a bar up near Austin, and we lived on the Austin Highway. And we went to his bar, and every Wednesday was food night at Charlie Pride's place. We'd go up there and eat food and dance with the ladies and just have a good time. Charlie Pride was a really good country singer. I got to meet you. You don't know who you probably was never a follower of Janis Joplin, but I went to see her in Golden Gate Park at San Francisco, California. She was having they was having a big. They had another guy had big lips. His name was Mick Jagger. He was there. They were all new in 1968. These are new groups. They were kids. Even oh, what's his damn lead guitarist there? The one that looks like he's 1,000 years. Keith Richards. He looked so young. He had no wrinkles in his face, and he was a young looking man. And they had 4 or 5 different groups there at a concert in the park. And I love that Janis Joplin. Her group then at the time was Big Brother and the Holding Company. And I think the song she played, it was a featured song there, was Turtle Blues. And I think it's been referred to as Mean Woman Blues. Yeah, she was with Big Brother and Holding Company, and at the time we met her, and then we began to follow Mick Jagger a little bit, the Rolling Stones, and then we saw him in concert in Seattle, and that was a sold out concert. Yeah, we had some good entertaining times. I missed Woodstock because I was deployed. They had me deployed out. I would have done Woodstock um, because I was right in the middle of that whole thing back in those days. Yeah, we bought a CD that I had a brand new Plymouth Barracuda. I bought a Plymouth Barracuda. It was a Formula S Barracuda, and it came with a quadraphonic system in it, which was 4 track, not 8 track, 4 track. And I bought a 4 track tape from at the concert in the park. And by the time 4 track was going, then they came out with the 8 track. You know, the 8 track you didn't have to turn it. See, the 4 track you had to take it out and turn it over and play the other side. Brown chicken. I'm so happy all you guys showed up over here this morning. Um, it is a great day. Um, let me see. Let me show you. I think I had it on the other. I had it on the other when I started up the other live. Me and old Motivon, Virginia. We done like us some spam. That's look at them vine ripened tomatoes down at the bottom layer of tomatoes. Well, you see tomato up at the top, yeah, and spam, cheese, lettuce. Well, you see the mayo back here in the back. Ooh, buddy, that was some dang good eating right there. That's on that Costco Panero bread. And for those that missed my spaghetti, if it'll ever focus, come on, focus. And don't focus all that good. Come on, maybe I get it in there. Come on, focus. Here, look right there. Check that out, boys and girls. I made a big pot, 4 days worth of spaghetti. And I'm gonna tell you, mine's a little spicy. I put 2 tablespoons of ghost pepper salsa. The ghost pepper is really it's got a little bit of bite to it. Oh, let me tell you, Will Burner, listen to this. In 1966, I went to Allen Green Chevrolet in Burien, Washington. I just got a promotion in engineering up to a higher level of about, I think I got like a $2,000 a year promotion. And so I went up to Allen Green Chevrolet and I wanted a 66 Corvette Roadster. That's what I wanted. They were like $6,000, a little more than $6,000, and a 6 week waiting period for a 427 L88 powered Corvette Roadster. Well, I got in there and he told me, he said, I can't even put your name on the waiting list. It is too long. He said, if you was giving me a cashier check for the total price, I could get you on the waiting list. But he said, if you're going to finance it, I can't put you on the waiting list. And he said, why do you want the Corvette? I was only at that time 26 years of age. And I was 26 years of age. And he said, what do you want the Corvette for? And at the time, I had 2 little boys with me. My 2 sons were sitting right there. My wife, my 2 sons, and I. He said, I see you're a family man. He said, you realize that 66 Corvette Roadster don't have back seats, got a little pad, or, it's not made for a family. And he said, but I do have an answer for you. He said, I've got a 66 Chevrolet Caprice that has electric windows, power seats, all leather interior with the 427 4-speed Muncie close ratio gearbox, all the stuff. He said it's loaded. A young guy came up and put down money and had it built just the way he wanted. All the suspension system. He wanted a classic car with all the power options from General Motors. And so we took his money. Then he gets a draft notice. In 1966, he got a draft notice, and our company gave him his money back, and we kept the car. When the car came in, And he said, I can get you in that car today, $3,400. And since you're going to finance it, that's $75 a month payments on it. And I looked at my wife, I said, can we do 75? And she said, it's going to be tough. I just got a raise. She said, $75, that's a lot of money because our house was 150. Our house, 2,400 square foot house was 150 a month. And she said, but I think we can make it do it. And we took that new car home that day. They brought it around, it all prepped and everything. Oh my God. That night I went out and raced my brother-in-law's 442 Oldsmobile. We went out there and raced, and he beat me. He beat me soundly. The reason being is I never drove a car with that much horsepower, and I couldn't get traction. He had an automatic, and once he got me out of the line, once I got traction, I could catch up with him on the other end, but I was just burning rubber in 3 gears there and not going nowhere. Well, that's what my whole life is about, Angel Faces. Old stories, telling you like what it was. Now, before you get really excited, like, whoa, what a time it would be to live in those days. Even though I got a $2,000 a year raise, we were making little money, even in our position. And the common labor in those days was pretty low. In 1966, I used to have a union scale book, what a union scale paid for. And I think at the middle of the pack in 66, $2.75 an hour was good money. That was in 1966. And we'd made more than that because of our position. But, and still today you can make $15 an hour and just barely make ends meet. Oh, Will Burner, I went back in 68 to Allen Green Chevrolet and bought an RS Camaro for my wife in 68 because she needed a vehicle to run with the kids, take them places. And I had my Chevrolet that I drove every day till I got to, and 68 was the same year I bought the Barracuda. I bought that Barracuda. I traded that Chevrolet 66 Caprice in for a Plymouth Barracuda. Sure, please do so. Angel Face post. Well, you can see, well, we were up in a little bit higher income bracket. I mean, what I'm saying, back in 66, 20 years or 22 years before you, we were at, more than that then. But look at the position we were in compared to, and common labor, if you worked common labor, um, they were still jobs paying $1.25 an hour. You know, ditch diggers, people that put manual labor in. Let me see. Well, of course, by 1980, at the time, in 1980, my base salary was something like 70,000 a year in 1980. And when I came out of the field, we had to come back in the house, and we lost $2,000 or $3,000 per month, what's called per diem. When you're deployed out, they have to pay you per diem. If you're more than 25 miles from your base of operation, they had to pay you per diem, and your per diem was a couple of thousand a month. At Hardy, you flipping burgers at Hardy. Right now, today, I'm gonna tell you, I still like Hardee's. I go to Hardee's. We have one in Warrior. Now, out on the West Coast, it's Bob's Big Boy, the chain out there. But I like Hardee's. I like that Frisco burger. The other day we got. In fact, we might do that today. The other day I got a craving for a burger, and we went to Hardee's over there, and she got me one of them full meal deal Frisco burgers. That what was that called? Not honey. What was it called? It had honey bacon or something other. A special sandwich they had We was in Philadelphia, Mississippi. I saw it on the reader board. It said some kind of a honey bacon uh, burger, and they had it at Warrior. So we went over. Oh, I'll tell you, buddy, it was good. And you go in over at Hardee's, and all you people that live in other parts of the world, you may not have this, but if you go into Hardee's in any restaurant in Alabama, you look on the wall right where you make your purchase. The law is required that the rating of that restaurant has to be posted in high visible areas so customers can see what kind of place they're eating in. And they stay in the 90s over there at Warrior. Now I go over in Walker County at Hardee's in Walker County, they're 78. I wouldn't even let my dog eat in there. Hey, Motorbomb, we just sitting here rambling, buddy. Get your shit kicking boots on, buddy, and come on in. I don't know, you got to go work, man. You're still a working stiff. Oh, Philadelphia, Mississippi. They have a grocery store there. It's a merchandise. I can't even remember the name of the place, but I got it in my phone where they have been slicing bacon since year of 1907. They now you go in the door, and the first thing you meet when you go in the door, there's two bacon slicers, and they're running full time. You get that real thick bacon with the rind on it, and I love it. Now here's what I do: I take a big old slab of bacon about that long, and I eat all the bacon right down to the rind. The rind, the skin on it, and it's crispy because it's been fried. And I hold it up like this, and little old Theo will come over there, and he gets the most beautiful look in his eyes. He loves to eat that pork rind. He'll eat them things. Whew. I guess we can't. I don't know if you can post anything on my. Oh, I thought you was just going to do a link. Angel Face. I don't know on. I don't have no place. This is not StreamYard. This is YouTube, and they don't have a place we can. Maybe you might have something where you can share something. I don't know. I don't. I'm new to YouTube. I've only been on it since 2007 or 2009, whenever they started up. But I haven't been doing live. I've just been posting stuff. 65 down to 5,000. That's a good savings. Oh, there you go. There you go, right there. Those that want to copy or want to click on the link, or if it's linkable, it's got a line under it, so it should be linkable. Yes, it is. You did a good job there, Angel Face. Now anybody wants to click on it, they can. I wonder what happened if I clicked on it. And let's see if I can do this. Oh, yeah. It's all black, blacked out, got a little yellow striping. Kawasaki Z650. Oh, that thing would be a little buzzer. Okay. Yeah, I was able to see it. Yeah, the link worked good, huh? A lot of times I see people put links up and they don't have that line under it and it's not linkable. And all you can do is go over and it won't allow you to click on it. Straight tequila, man. Well, I was hoping my baby sister would get in here. Every time I do a live feed, the modem goes off, and just about the time she comes in, it cuts off, or just right after it cuts off, she comes in and thinks I'm still live because it still says live. In fact, Robert one time he made a statement to me that he was making comments over there because it said I was still live, and I'd been off the air for 12 minutes, and I didn't even know it. The thing went off, and I had no way of knowing. I wish I could remember the name of that place over there. In fact, I might be able to bring it up on the phone. If you ever get back to Philadelphia in your trucking, be sure if you got a cooler in your truck, get you some. Oh, that's a big difference. 3,519 for a American dollars. Yeah, if you like bacon, they got some of the best bacon in the world there. It's all the hogs are raised there on the farm. All the hogs are processed on the farm, and everything is fresh. When it comes over there, it's as fresh, right? I mean, it's as good as you're going to get. I'm gonna look it up and see if I can remember the name of the place. If Angelique was in here, she could tell me the name of it, but I only saw it up on the sign when I pulled in. But I will look it up. Oh, that's really nice, Angel Face. You converted it from Canadian to. There's so many good bacon recipes. I got the. There's a lot of people taking pictures in the store. Oh, bacon burgers. Here's a guy taking that bacon he bought over there in Philadelphia and wrapped it around hamburger patties and frying it. Oh, it looks so good. My God, there's a lot of bacon places in Philadelphia. I can look at this all day long. Man, these people love cooking that bacon. Can't find it. And if I wasn't looking for it, it'd be right there. The name of the store. It's a mercantile. I think it's called some kind of two brothers. There's brothers. Let's see if I can get an action video here. Okay. No, don't pay me no attention. Just you keep talking amongst yourself. Oh my God, I see that. Hey, hey, Ray Moto. Welcome to my world. Check it out, boys and girls. I wouldn't suggest doing this. See, I am a professional writer, so the boys and girls don't attempt this at home. That's old heavy Betty. She's got a pair of 12-inch wide tires in the back. Whoa, went over the line. I sucked it back up. Boys and girls, don't do this. This is something an old guy would do. The deer step out right now. Watch, we're gonna go down this little dip right here. Hang on, this curve down here is gonna be a booger, buddy. You're gonna be a booger. We made it. Oh God, we're gonna make it. Oh, I don't know if y'all could even see that or not. Oh, Angelique, she's been with me. I've raced for many years, and I just have a respect for a bike. I can just feel it out, you know. You're talking to a guy right here that's broken a lot of bones in his body. His hands, I broke my hands, my feet, my femur in my right leg, both of the bones in the lower leg, 7 of my ribs, my collarbone, this one right here. No, this one right here, right here. Broke my collarbone, broke my skull right here. I broke my skull right here wearing a full bell helmet, and it crushed the helmet and broke my skull. Just a little, like a 3/4 inch crack above my eyeball. It's made the eye sag just a little bit. No, the other eye. This, this eye here. Yeah, Angelique and I last year on Miss Piggy, we put 6,000 miles on Miss Piggy. And she ain't no slouch. She'll run good. Now, that little bike I was riding there, it was a 4-camber motor that had been worked over and it ran really good. Joe, my buddy, the guy usually sits over here sometime, my buddy Joe took it all the way. He pegged the meter on it on I-65, and I was behind him in my Mustang GT, and I was cruising steady with him. And when he went over the left lane to pass, he took it all the way to the top. And I thought, man, he is. We know he'd never been on it before in his life. I thought, now that guy right there is hoping the tire don't blow out. You notice I had a disclaimer when I said, don't try this at home, boys and girls. If you want to live as long as me, you don't want to try stuff like that. Oh, you know it will, Burner. Um, how many things have you bought in your life? You said, like take it to the max. My Plymouth Barracuda, I believe it had 150. In those days, they didn't have the 160 like my Mustang GT. It's got 160, but I believe it was 140. It might have been 140. Mopar Mustang at the time had 140. My Mustang GT had 140 on it in the old days, and I believe the Barracuda was the same way. We got stopped in Oklahoma. My wife and I got stopped in Oklahoma in that Barracuda, clocked at 106 miles per hour on the freeway. We was in a hurry. I had received what's called a DD 214, I believe it was. The date of departure, we left on Friday, and we had to be in Dobbins Air Force Base on Monday. And you have to be there. I mean, we had to. We could have went down in a plane, but we couldn't have. Anyhow, we decided to take the Barracuda, and the guy didn't give me a ticket because when he was writing me my ticket, he came up there and laying on the console was my travel orders. And he saw the Department of Defense on the outside folder. He said, "Are you military?" And I handed him the DD 214. He read through it when I was to arrive and when I left. And I apologized for going fast, but he told me, he said, "You're only 6 miles from the Arkansas state line. Don't try another shit over there because they will take you away. And they couldn't care less if you're a patriot or whatever you are. You're going down in Arkansas." And well, you might have seen lately that was way back in '68. You can see lately, 66 Mustang, the speed only went to, that's right, that's what mine went to 140. I had a '68 GT 5-liter GT 68, and it was 140 on it as well. And it would do the 140. It had no trouble getting the 140. Let me tell you about that GT 88 GT. My sister was dating a guy that was the chief of police in a little town down there where we lived in the valley. And he came up with her, and he got a call that he had to get back on duty. And so I was fixing to leave because I was having to work the next day. This was on New Year's Day. You know, we'd stayed till the New Year's party. And he asked me if he could catch a ride with me back down to his little town. And so when he's riding with me, and the GT had a 5-speed in it, he says to me, he said, these 5.0s as fast as the state guys that got 5.0 cars? And he said, they say they're really fast. I said, yeah, they are fast. But what I'd done is, because we was living in Washington, the weather was really frozen and a lot of ice. And I had put studded tires in the back, not Z-rated. I had Z-rated gator backs on the GT, but I put snow tires on the back because of the snow and ice. So we were on the Valley Freeway, and the chief of police says, "Will this thing run?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Let me see how it runs." He said, "Don't worry, ain't nobody gonna bother you." And so I said, "You sure?" And he said, "Yeah." So I was in 5th gear, so I put it over in 3rd gear while cruising at 70. I slipped it over in 3rd, and I took it up, tacked it out in 3rd, tacked it out in 4th, and I pegged the meter. But how it happened, when I got about 120 miles per hour, which was like peaking out in 4th gear or 3rd gear, the stud started coming out of the tires and was hitting the bottom of the car, the fender well, and it sounded like 22 bullets hitting inside there. Man, I'm telling you, I seen him gripping on, and the car was doing this on the road. It was riding on them steel studs. As they stuck out further, it was riding on top of those studs, and it was levitating on the road at about 120 plus. But we pegged it out, got him down there safely. Hey, Mr. Ben Tipton, we're doing so much better now that you're here. Now, when I was riding old Heavy Betty, now I was already 80 years old. So uh, I'd probably at that point had probably reached as high of skill level as I could as far as managing speed on the road when I was riding old Heavy Betty. Now, when I was taking the police chief for a ride at 140 miles per hour in a Mustang GT, I was only like that would have been in 88. I'd been 48, 49 years old. So I was still rather immature. The only time I've ever got really high speed in a truck was up in Kentucky, and I was riding with the boys. Gosh, what's the name of that group? They're out of South Alabama. They have pellet trucks. They ride these belly dump pellet trucks. They haul fertilizer and stuff like that in these belly dump things. I mean, they were fast. There was 4 of them and only 1 of me, and I latched on with them up there in Kentucky, and we made a fast trip across Kentucky and Tennessee. Tennessee, you got to be really careful. They have what's called a zero policy there. They can write you for 1 mile over. I ain't saying they do, but they can, and they don't hesitate. Hey, Angel Face, well, you know how to find it back your way back to my little group here. You'll always be a welcome mat out for you. You're a bike rider. We don't care what your gender is. We just like it because you like bikes. And we'd like you if you didn't even like bikes. Let me see what this is. Let me check your link out. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. A little three-wheeler front wheel drive. I bet that'd be interesting to ride. Wonder how fast it'll go. My little dog is still asleep. You know you're welcome here. If anybody treats you bad, Angel, come over to my place, come over to my channel, and I'll do everything to make up for any kind of mistreatment you get by making you feel so welcome you'll forget about ever having anybody said anything negative to you. That's a guarantee. Well, Burger, you have no mercy in you. Mercy. My sister bought herself a new Honda Helix. Helix, a new Honda Helix. That's my sister in California. It's got a 250 and it's two-wheeler, and she rode the hell out of that thing. I think until her kids took it away from her. But she can tell you about it. That Helix, that was a pretty fast machine for its day. Yeah, check it out, Angel Face. I got a feeling I feel like it would be dangerous to me. I don't know. I having two wheels in the back, I feel safer. I can go real hard into a corner, and I don't know. I don't know. I never did ride it. She had one. I'll ask her. But it had everything in it. It had hydraulic brakes. I remember it had disc brakes on it. Um, I'll have to ask her. But she was a kind of a my sister would try all the little weird things in the world. She bought a little Geo Metro. And everybody laughed at her, you know. She had a little three-cylinder little three-cylinder engine in that little Geo Metro. And she got hit by a Chrysler 300 and it put everybody in the hospital. I think that little Geo rolled up into a ball, and she was inside that ball after it got through wrecking and rolling and tumbling and twisting. After that Chrysler 300 hit it at 75 miles per hour, but she had it in her backyard of her house for many years, and just a wadded up, just a spitball out there, and she's still alive. Some of us you just can't kill. Well, my three wheeler, it's got front and rear brakes. I got four disc brakes, two up in the front and two in the back. And you activate it. You know, you got a foot pedal and a hand pedal, and you got a parking brake. Yeah, I thought it did have a foot brake, but I couldn't remember, but I never did ride it. Yeah, a little Geo Metro, but it took a licking, but it didn't keep on ticking. It just knocked the snot out of it. Oh, she's had some she bought a Matador. I She bought her husband bought her a American Motors Matador. You know, one had them headlight pods that stuck out there, Matador. And I mean, we thought that was the funniest thing we ever seen, that American Motor Matador, but it was a lovely car. I mean, it ran good. When my Mustang GT 88 model had to be serviced at the Ford dealer, they gave me a loaner car, and the loaner car they gave me was an American Motors Gremlin. No, not the Gremlin. Pacer, American Motors Pacer, like the little pumpkin car, little fat car. Had big front, only had two doors. Had big doors, and you could eat. A big old boy like me could get in and out of that thing real easy. And yeah, that's right. Her son drove that little Metro for a long time, and he drove it to school. And he burnt rubber with it. He done anything he wanted to do with it. But that little car kept it going until the Chrysler 300 knocked it out of the ballpark. Yeah, it was a Suzuki engine. And my brother-in-law Craig, my sister Joyce's husband, he bought a General Motors Pup. There was a little pickup truck called what was that thing? I believe he called it a Pup. It was a it was a little Chevrolet pickup truck that had a Suzuki engine in it. A little diesel engine, a little three-cylinder diesel. I mean, I'm sorry, four-cylinder diesel engine in that little. I think it was called a Pup, a little General Motors little pickup truck, but had a Suzuki diesel engine in it, and it was indestructible. Me and you are the same size. I weigh 230 now. I weigh 230. Well, of course, I'm almost 85 years old, and I'm 6'2". I'm 6'1" now. I'm 6'1" and a little bit more, but I've shrunk my vertebrae and everything has shrunk down, and almost 85 years old, and I've compressed, and it'll happen to everybody. When you get older, I guess the fluid between your vertebrae shrink down, so I've lost most of my height and most of my. I used to have guns on me. I don't have any guns no more. I have I don't have nothing left anymore. There ain't no muscles here. The arms are just little. They all my arms do is hold my hands on. You couldn't knock anybody out with a little. Somebody say, "Hey, you got a string hanging out of your sleeve." I go, "No, that's just my arm." Hey, Toga, let me say to Toga, right up here in the front, I want to thank your country for shipping hundreds of tons of eggs to America. We're in an egg crisis here in our country, and Turkey stepped up and shipped hundreds of tons of eggs from Turkey. Chicken eggs from Turkey. Who had ever thought America would come to that? But we lost, millions of chickens they had to destroy them. They had a disease. Otherwise, we'd be eating up diseased eggs. And we're egg eaters in this country. Hell yeah, we appreciate turkey. And we appreciate Toga. He's a representative of Turkey. He's our Turkish connection. Yeah, that's right. That's right. You gotta be careful about speaking about gravity on this deck here, because I heard rumors that Buck Brown's deck is starting to sag because of gravity. Hey, that's what the world is about. This is how the world functions when we realize that we're all on the same world. We may have different religions and different skin colors and different just a lot of differences there, but at the end of the line, we're all God's children around this world. And once people begin to realize this, um, and there is, speaking about making the world littler, this guy right here, time to go, he's my English mentor. He is the one that teaches me the English, how to speak more properly. So far I've mastered cheerio, pip pip. That Kime is a real good human being. I hold Kime in high regards. Well, I'll tell you, you want to be careful locking them front wheels up. You got a lot of grip up in the front, because I can do this on a one wheel. If you work those brakes right on any motorcycle, a good suspended motorcycle, you can bring that ass end up and you can actually do a face plant on a two wheel. Can you imagine a three wheeler with that kind of locking power? You could do a face plant. So you want to be careful about applying the brakes. Kind of feel where they work and where they don't work, and just stay within that safe range. Yeah, this is a Friday, man. This is Tequila Friday, and we we're already starting to celebrate already. Oh, sure, it looks like a bottle of water. Because you know why it looks like a bottle of water? Because it is. Now, some of you folks might have remember when I was in Washington. I think Kime was on. We were drinking tequila like that out of the bottle. And I tell you, by the next day was a fuzzy one. Oh, okay. I just don't want you to hurt yourself. What I'm saying is, if there's any kind of warning about locking the wheels, because my track, I can slide the wheels on it too, but the big back tires in the back keeps me going pretty straight. Now, if I just use the front brakes, it'll nose dive like all Harleys will do, and it's a heavy. My machine weighs almost 1,200 pounds. And if you apply a lot of brakes on it, I mean, it'll push that suspension right down. And I have had smoke to come off the front tire, because I ride pretty hard sometimes and you have to use the brakes seriously. Oh, I understand. No, don't worry about it, Angel Face. I wasn't making any negative remarks about the scooter, other than anytime I see the word the wheels can lock or whatever, that concerns me, of because I've seen people face plant on YouTube, showing their mother or their wife their new bike, and they go out there and get too heavy on their front brakes, the ass end comes up, and next thing you know, it's a wipe out. Yeah, sick masters. He would know how to. Yeah, he would know how to light it. Yeah, he's a master smoker. I smoke quite a bit of barbecue. I used to. I was really big in barbecuing. And oh, I hear a door opening over there. Might be any moment something might explode into the room. Well, that Dakar race, that you're going to have some stamina and endurance there to race the Dakar. I haven't decided what is for lunch yet. I may have fish today. I don't know. Oh, we don't have any coleslaw. You just can't have fish. I might. Uh-oh, she's not coming this way. I'll call her on the phone and get her to come this way. Got to fly the idea about over, to her about what to have for lunch. Oh, they got the. I guess she's not going to answer. Wait, sorry, I missed your call. Call you back when I can. Thanks. Bye. Oh, here we go. Here we go. She has answered. Your message. You have finished recording. You may hang up. Press 1 for more options. Hello. Hello. I'm still here. Could you please come here for a moment? Thank you. Um, okay, so our fiber optics has been strung on our. We got them strung up across the yard. The lines out there, they have what's called a drop, and it'll come over to the house. And when they set the equipment up in the house, then um, what we're gonna have for lunch? Um, well, the chicken, that Mandarin chicken. We've been putting it off for quite a long time. All right, we're gonna do Mandarin chicken, right? Yeah. And steamed rice. Yeah. All right. All right, thanks. That's what I want to know. I thought the sound was coming from my TV. Yeah, we'll do like 2 cups of rice. Well, so we'll have extras. 4 waters, 2 cups of rice. You have enough to have extras. Yeah. Okay. I'll get it out and put it on the counter. Okay. Um, Gotta get her doggy. My doggy. Yes, my doggy. Now come over here and turn around backward on and show your shirt. I'll walk towards the couch. There we go. Right there. There is that is our logo right here. That's a company I used to represent. Okay. So, okay, now back to my fiber optics. When they told me over there when they put the line up, it would be as much as 3 months before they can get the service crew out here to wire up all the houses at once. And the system I'm going to get is $119 a month plus taxes, and it gives you 2 gigabytes of service. Upload and download is both the same, 2 gigabytes. Yeah, look like you've done angel face. Look like you have did a lot of studying on that particular model. It'll take a little. You have to literally drive a three wheeler. You know, you have to actually steer it. You know, you can't do the body leaning thing as much. You need to steer it. You know, um, and I'm speaking from a three wheeler, conventional three wheeler, not with the two in the front. I have never driven one of those. I got a friend that has one of those rackers. That's a Polaris racker, I believe it's called, a stracker or something like that. It's a black big machine, big motor. Mandarin chicken. She loves it, and I make it. I make it fresh here. We don't usually. I go in and I fix it all, and now we don't make the Mandarin sauce itself, but we buy the Mandarin sauce. But I got a recipe that I've been doing, and she loves it that way. I like we like our Mandarin chicken a little crispier than most people.
That
So
is true.
yeah, she does like you like your crispy chicken, don't you?
Yep. I just wanted to take him out first and bring him back.
You got the little boy. Okay,
I just took him out.
okay. Oh, by the way, I'll talk to you about it later. That's something.
Gotcha.
Uh, Anyhow, we eat a lot of stuff. Well, you saw me eating an octopus the other day. We call them Homer heads. They got a big old head on them, you know, a little like Homer Simpson, and they got 8 tentacles down there. And I had it in my mouth, and she took a picture of me with the tentacles hanging down in my beard here. Look.
Not wonderful.
And we call them Homer heads. Angelique is disgusted about Homer. You don't eat them.
They taste like rubber.
They taste like rubber. She said Homer heads taste like the squid and the octopus both. She said taste like rubber.
I'd rather have a calamari.
She likes calamari.
Yeah, because it's fried. You don't taste the rubber.
Yeah, and she got us some fried oysters the other day. And man, you talk about good. She didn't get enough of them because when she went back, they didn't have any.
That's true.
Yeah, and they were really good. One time, we used to have this rule in the family.
Put it on your plate, you eat it.
Oh, the rule still applies. If you got it on your plate, you eat it. But we don't cook anything that we don't like. So, right? Um, we used to have a rule in the family when you turn 16 years of age, you get a choice of what restaurant to go to. Normally, when you had your birthday, we took you to the restaurant of our choice and let you pick out something on the menu, but you went to our choice of restaurant. But when you turn 16, you get to pick the restaurant of your choice. Well, my daughter, she had this idea that she would take us to Ivar's Acres of Clams in downtown Seattle on the waterfront. It was a really nice place to go eat. And so when we got in there, I had to drive my whole clan up there, 45 miles to get us up there to that restaurant. And she wanted to order bouillabaisse, a cauldron of fish. It had lobster. It had all kinds of stuff in it. It was a fish soup, bouillabaisse. And they served it in a cauldron, steaming hot cauldron. And I like my blackened fish, and everybody else ordered whatever they wanted, but she ordered, and they brought that out, and the whole family ended up having to eat that whole pot of, because after she had about 3 or 4 sips of it, that $45 bowl pot of cauldron of $45 cauldron of fish, eyeballs and everything else. God, we had to end up eating that with her. I never ordered another. She never ever did ever order that again. But we used to love to go to Iber's. Every time we go up there now to Seattle, we always make a point of going to Iber's Acres of Clams down on the waterfront. Yeah, we're going to have next week some fried chicken. We're going to have some mashed taters and that good old southern fried chicken gravy to smother on them taters. You just pour it, you just dig a hole out in them taters there, and pour about 3 ladles. We got a gravy boat in there. We just take all that chicken gravy that we make in a big cast iron skillet and we set it on the table, and you just pour as much of that gravy you want on them taters. And while you get your piece of chicken, like a chicken leg, you can reach over and dip it right in that gravy. Got some fried okra and got some fried green tomatoes. And in the morning, we start our day off with a half a dozen of eggs and some maybe bologna and a lot of bacon. Can't get enough of bacon. How's that, Will Burner? Is that sounding better? uh, KFC, yeah, they're moving out of Kentucky. Can you believe it? Going to damn Texas. Oh my God Almighty, what is this world coming to? Yeah, we saw that. You're gonna have to change Texas fried chicken. It don't even have the right ring. You can't say Texas, but if you do Texas fried chicken, yeah, come on up here and stop by and get you some Texas fried chicken. Yeah, you can't do it normally like Kentucky Fried Chicken. It's always about good eating. The Colonel would roll over in his grave. I do make a lot of chicken and gravy. And I tell you what we did the other day. We made steak and gravy, just like the way my mama made it when I was kids. Cooked the steak, a breaded steak, cooked, and all of that stuff. It goes down in the cast iron skillet. Then add a little bit more flour and get you a good roux going. Got all that seasoning from the steak and all that black pepper, and then put in more black pepper in the when it gets just right. Then put your beef stock in there on your gravy and make a dark, rich gravy.
There's 2 packs of these in the box.
We'll just do 1 pack.
Okay,
Just 1 pack.
I know the enough.
Okay.
I wanted to say it.
Okay.
We put this in the water to start thawing.
Sure. Got a pack. The box had seasoning, 2 packs of seasoning. And when you make up your mixture, you gotta do your chicken and the seasoning. I marinate my chicken sometime, but we're not doing it today because she just made the decision to have not Kentucky Fried, but Mandarin chicken, Mandarin orange. Oh my gosh, you're part of the crew. Uh, you'll always be welcome here. Let us know how the bike deal turns out. And just have a good, enjoyable day. Just going out shopping makes you feel good. It does me. Oh my God, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's the way to eat. I mean, that's how we ate. That's the way my mama cooks. See, and I'm trying to carry on like my mama did. Now my mama been gone a few years, but we admired her cooking, and so all of my cooking life has always been styled after the way mama would have cooked it. Yeah, she was a Wonder Woman. She could take my mama had 10 kids in all, not all of them lived. Most in hard days in a coal mining camp, most babies died in the first 3 years because of malnourishment. They didn't have any times was hard. We didn't get electricity until I was 12 years old. And you had to take just a handful of beans and make a meal out of it. My mama could go in there and fire that coal stove up, get it going, and she could take a little bit of nothing. If she had flour, she could make you a meal. And the hard times, we'd be sitting around in the winter time, and my mother, along about maybe 7 o'clock in the evening, all of us would be getting a hankering for a little something to eat. She'd go in there and mix up dough, and she would make bread on the fireplace. She would just scoop back the ashes, put the big old cast iron skillet in there with a lot of lard in it, and she would take that uh, dough she'd mixed up. She'd pour it over in this hot grease, and it was called a hoe cake, like the hobos eat, hoe cake, and it was fried bread, and she'd cook it and brown it, and she would take her hands and break off pieces of that fried bread. She could handle anything. And she'd break us off pieces and hand it to us around the fireplace. And we'd eat that good, delicious fried bread with that, cooked in lard. And oh, it was so good. That's what we'd have for like a wintertime snack. It'd be a cold night, and we'd eat that fried bread. Some of the best days of my life. There was 10 of us born, and 6 lived to be adult. And then my brother next to me got killed in the army. There's still 5 of us left. My oldest brother is 88 years of age, and he's living. He's alive. His heart is beating. But he is not the same brother that he was just a few years ago. The thing called dementia has raised havoc with him. And to have seen people you love dearly that die from dementia, like my wife, my mother, so many people we know. Hey, Adventures of Key Fob, I'm glad you made it. Oh yeah, once you get to fried bread, there's just so many things you can do with it. Um, yeah, you know what we used to like to do with it? My mother would move the skillet over on the side of the fireplace, and you could take your fried bread and dip it on that hot, the whatever oil was still left in the skillet, and it was good. You can see at almost 85 years of age, I'm still alive, and it didn't clog up none of my arteries. The Adventures of Key Fob. Yeah, you just can't go wrong with fried bread. In our days, in our early years, everything was fried. My mom would get there in the spring of the year and the summer of the year, and where there was a lot of vegetables in the garden, we always had fried okra, which my daddy loved boiled okra. Us as kids hated boiled okra. Okra was good fried, but I couldn't hardly eat it. But mama would make a big pot of that boiled okra, and that was tough to get down. And tripe. How many people, raise your hand. I mean, I'm looking here. How many people have eaten tripe? Tripe. Does anybody know what tripe is? Oh, kind of go knows what tripe is. Oh, okra is a green vegetable. It's called a pod. It has little seeds inside of it, but you eat all of it. They're little tender seeds, and you slice them like little wagon wheels, and you put them in a cornmeal, and you roll them in salt and pepper and cornmeal, and you fry them on a skillet. Fried okra. Otherwise, you boil it and put butter and seasoning and stuff, and have boiled okra. They're little pods about so long. You want the little ones. They're more tender. When a pod of okra gets that long, they get what we call pethy, where they got a lot of hollow space in them, and everything gets more fiber in it. And we like ours smaller okra. And Key Fob just said right there, okra will eat you alive. You got to have sleeves on it, because when you're out there and it's hot and sweaty, and you rake your arms on them leaves, and you ain't gonna quit stinging and burning. They're a wicked little plant. I have worked in that okra, and it will just eat you up alive. And then, of course, we have down here in the South, one of our favorite springtime meals was poke salad. Now, poke salad was a weed that grew out here, and when the young poke salad got up about that big, when the leaves are nice and tender, you go out and harvest a poke salad, and you have to boil it 3 times. You have to boil it 3 times in fresh water to get all the vitamin A out. Vitamin A is toxic to the body. An overdose of vitamin A will take you out. And I mean, it depends on your body. It's just a lot of people don't have the same level of vitamin A in their body, but those that's very high in vitamin A in their body, you eat poke salad, and it's not cooked properly, it could cause you some misery. But then after boiling it 3 times, your mama beat up like 6 eggs, and she would, well, first of all, she'd have some fried meat over here, fried bacon, and she'd pour them eggs over the top of that okra, and then throw in that bacon that she had crumbled up, and it cooked together the scrambled eggs and poke salad, and that was a meal. Oh my God! If you do it just right, it have a little bite on the end of your tongue. It's delicious. It's like a real strong spinach. To me, it always reminded me of real strong spinach in as far as flavor. You had to pick it early, that's right. But you actually you can cook the stalks. Stalks are purple. If you peel the purple up off the stalks and slice them like you would okra, you can actually cook them. There's recipes on how to cook the stalk, because in our days we didn't have a lot of things that went to waste. Hey, Frogzilla. Hey, Frogzilla, you might look on your page about, I think, spring or whatever, that we placed an order for a couple of them sweatshirts. As of, yeah, I haven't looked today, but as of yesterday, they're supposed to have been here on the 14th, but as of yesterday, they were just being made somewhere. And if they send you a notice, let me know, because I don't want to just keep looking on my mail. I'm not. I really want to get the sweatshirts, but if my life is not going to change if I don't get them. But you might check and see what the progress is on them, because they haven't manufactured them yet, or still making them, or something other. Because I want to show them off while it's cold. Because once it gets warm, I won't be able to show them off. Oh, it's not your fault, man. You're just guy that put the advertisement up. I bought from your advertisement there. I ain't holding you responsible for nothing. It's I've ordered 3 things from a off Amazon.com, and they never delivered, and they took the money. We're talking about quite a bit of money. They took the money out of my account, and then come to find out they was never going to deliver them. I bought a motorcycle jack, that hydraulic jack where you can raise the 3-wheeler up off the ground. I built a pad in my parking pad out there so I could put the jack there so I could raise the bike up and do my servicing. And Never got that one. I ordered a Harley jacket. Never got that one. There was 3 things I ordered I never got at all, but I paid for them. But oh, all poke salad is purple. All your stalks are purple. And up at the top, you got purple berries. Now, I have cardinals here, many cardinals, and the cardinals, they eat those purple berries. They don't have no effect on them, but they are not good for human beings. But the poke salad itself, the more purple in the stalk, more vitamin A. If you look up it's it has a warning about poke salad because it will overdose you in vitamin A, and that wouldn't be a good thing either. But we've eaten it successfully since I've been here at our house many times. Poke salad with scrambled eggs and bacon. And hello, mystical rider. I figured you guys would know something about it, because you know how the orders are placed and everything. And I am not making any remarks of anything that would be disparaging. If it don't even arrive, I don't care. I wanted them when the winter here so I could wear them. I'll put them on and I will demonstrate them because I'd like to see the stuff be successful. But I understand how that works, in production. Um, I I just wanted to bring it up to Frogzilla there because I wanted to display Frogzilla on my back on that beautiful lily pad, which was cannabis. Yeah, that's right. I've waited all my life. I look at me, married 5 times, right, to some good women, but it was number 5 that stayed with me for 33 years. Um, what a good woman. I've got 4 deceased wives, but she lasted the longest. I didn't bring it up for any other reason, just curious with what y'all had seen on your end. And I figured if you knew anything about production, they would probably notified you. But I received nothing except they accepted my order. And I go back every once in a while and look on that little thing, and it shows it's in production. But they said they'd send me a shipping date whenever they already sent me. Said it'd be delivered between the 12th and the 14th. But maybe they will. Then when they get this thing, the bottleneck in the operation there sorted out, they will send me a shipping notice. I bet Ben Tipton probably knows more about waiting than anybody on here. We live in a hustle and bustle world, and Ben, he don't let his wheelchair slow him down. He does things, but I'm sure there's a different set of circumstances when you're wheelchair bound. Well, I rode around here in a wheelchair for a little while when I had my leg broken, and I I uh, I had to have somebody help me to go down the steps I had to wait for somebody to come by and, that could. Angelique was afraid to lower me down each step in the wheelchair. She felt afraid if I fell out or whatever, it would re-break my leg or whatever, and she didn't want to be responsible for that. I imagine you'd have to have some patience to wait for things to come and line up just right for you. I know. No, when I fly through the air, it'd be after God gives me my wings. I'll flitter about in the air like a butterfly on God's wings and not worry about those little shroud lines. As much as I could get into the thrill of it all. I have a hard time landing on anything. I mean, I this year alone I have fell 2 times off the ladder. I was working on my security light out here, and while I was up there drilling, I'm drilling like this into the wall, and when I pulled the drill out, it felt odd for a moment. It looked like the wall was getting further away from me. I'm looking at the wall and I'm going backwards. Oh hell, my whole ladder is going over backwards. Poor little Angelique, she was down at the bottom. But she had already started looking around at something else, and then when she looked up, I'm already more coming her way. And before she could move, I'm done fell down on her. Woof, 230 pounds right on poor little Angelique laying down there. She broke my fall. And then I come around here after we recovered from that. I come around here and fell. Oh, no, no, my apologies. I started the day off up in Coleman. I fell over backwards at the Golden Corral while I was trying to get a picture, or she was going to take the picture, and I was walking backwards and stumbled over the parking block, where your front wheels come up, and fell and hit the back of my damn head. When I looked up there was people looking out the window, seeing old Mac splattered out on the parking lot. And it was a very, very embarrassing right there. So, yeah, falling is a fear that I have now created within myself. Yeah, we just like I got kids that have made every kind of parachute jump you can imagine. One of my children had to fly into Beirut, Lebanon. He flew into Syria from Beirut. He was actually off the coast of Beirut in a helicopter ship, and they strapped him up, and they took 8 guys in, 4 hanging out on ropes into Syria. Ronald Reagan was the president. He sent them into Syria because Hezbollah, a warring political faction, had blown up the embassy and killed some of our Marines in Lebanon, Beirut, and Beirut. So they had to go in and eradicate up there in the Druze Muslim camp. They was hiding out, and Ronald Reagan sent Delta team in to eradicate them. They went in by helicopter, a big sea stallion, in the late of night. And when they come back to get them, they come in with no lights on, and they had the ropes hanging down. And my son said he latched on to his rope, got a hold of it, and latched on to it. But the guy below him, when the helicopter took off, instead of rising up, because they couldn't rise up because there was people that could see them if they got above the crest of the hill. So they tilted the nose down and took off this way, and the boys on the end were tumbling around down on the end of the rope. And my son said he had to put his feet down on a guy's helmet, the pot, he was wearing, put it down there to keep him spinning, because the more he spun, the more he would be spinning. So they flew out there to this helicopter carrier thing and landed out there. He said that was that was the best landing he ever had in his life, because you hold onto the rope and you slide your feet on the deck, and it's a real serrated deck. And the boy on the end, of course, tumbled and twisted. It wasn't pretty for the guy on the end, because the jump master had told him, said, latch up as soon as that thing comes in, get up the highest latch you can get a hold of, because when the helicopter rises up, it's going to put you up off the ground, and you won't have to be tumbling in the cactus and all that stuff down there. But they made it out of Syria. They completed their mission and got back over on that little ship out there that had a helicopter landing pad on it, on a sea stallion. You guys in the Navy, like Salty and some of them guys that been on the big seas, they know what the sea stallion. There's a Sea King and a Sea Stallion helicopter. Well, boys and girls, it's been good. And you see my little, oh, where's she at? There she is, right over there. There she is. She is wanting me to go and start prepping the chicken, because it's 10 to 12, getting the chicken and everything ready. Honey, do me a favor.
Sure.
Take a scoop of that feed and go put it on my rail right over there, honey.
On the far end rail?
Put it right next to the house over there. Put it on the rail out towards the fan.
Oh, okay.
You know, and that stretch from the house out to the fan.
So, right. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yes.
You might put a little bit over there as well, because I can look either direction. I like to watch my birds eat, and I seen them all landing on. I got a wire coming across over there, two antenna cables coming across.
The oven's already heated up.
Okay, we're going to start fixing got to go get prepped. I've got, I showed you, I got me a really good knife for filleting steaks and fish and stuff, sharp as a razor. And I told her, I said, it's been hanging here on my desk for a long time. Oh, Key Fob, I watched your videos after I posted them 3 little shorts yesterday. Yours is top quality stuff. I'm shooting through 2 windows. I have storm windows and a screen wire, and the camera had to look through all that out there to see the bird. So I couldn't make it clear. And I was on telephoto shooting through the window, because it's 22 foot over there to the deck. So I had to use Zoom to do that. And I didn't get the quality. Yours is top notch quality, man. I enjoyed your birds. I watched it. I clicked on all of them. Oh yeah, you did good. You did good there. Well, I want to thank each and every one of you that came over, and I got some good thumbs up. I appreciate putting up with the fact that I don't have a very good service here, and I had a problem, and you didn't all flee and go somewhere else. You stuck around and waited till I could get it back on the air, and we will do it every time we get a chance. I don't get to get on as much as I like to, but we're gonna do it while we can. And I might even put my Aussie bush hat on the next time. I got a Aussie, my Australian bush hat over there too that I like to wear. Well, let me go ahead. We've been on for 2 hours and 15 minutes on this stream, and I think we got about 30 minutes on the other one. And Mystical Rider, thank you very much for being here. Frogzilla, Adventure Key Fob, Toga, Time to Go, Sick, and all the fellows that's in here is hearing my voice, and I'm not calling your name out. It ain't because I had neglected you. I just couldn't recall them. So God bless you, and have a great weekend, and Sick will be running across you. You never know when I might show up.